Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Meyers. I am an occupational therapy doctoral student from the University of Indianapolis. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my doctoral capstone experience in program development titled Education for Volunteers on Adaptive Equipment for the Visually Impaired Veterans. My faculty advisor is Kelsey Peter, and my site mentor was Brittany Hook. I completed my doctoral capstone at the Veterans Affairs, specifically working with the Adaptive Sports and Entertainment Division and the National Veterans Golden Age Games. The National Veterans Golden Age Games were founded in 1985 to offer sports competitors health education to display the value of sports, fitness, and wellness, and offer senior veterans a way of achieving a healthy quality of life. The Games boast 27 events, 8 different age brackets, and 3 separate divisions: ambulatory division, visually impaired division, and the wheelchair division. The aim of the Games is to provide eligible seniors that are 55 years of age and older opportunities to pursue an active lifestyle through sport and connect through shared experiences. The National Veterans Golden Age Games changes their host site annually to a new city each year within the United States. Each year can provide an opportunity for veterans to qualify for the National Senior Games, through exhibition games, through the National Veterans Golden Age Games. A few sports and exhibitions that are offered include air pistol, air rifle, badminton, basketball, bocce ball, bowling, cornhole, cycling, disc golf, golf, horseshoes, 9-ball, pickleball, power walking, shuffleboard, swimming, table tennis, and track and field. During my time with the VA and the National Veterans Golden Age Games, the main focus of the project was to create an educational-based module that could be used yearly, as well as assess the usability of the educational material. The project's aim was to create an educational module that can be used annually for incoming volunteers, as well as provide the staff with the educational module skeleton that can be used for different facets of the National Veterans Golden Age Games. As an example, the use of the skeleton could be used for additional education for volunteers, highlighting further adaptive equipment for athletes that are within the wheelchair division, or additional education for referees. The goal of the project was to increase the volunteers' knowledge, which in turn would increase the efficiency and effectiveness of the games overall. The VA has been around since as early as 1776. The department aims to serve current and discharged persons from any active military branch. The VA provides a myriad of programs that include educational benefits, as well as benefits that continue to meet the ever-changing medical, surgical, and quality of life needs, such as the Veterans Golden Age Games. These ever-changing needs for veterans have grown substantially to include what is necessary for veterans as they age, including all veterans, regardless of age, gender, or disability. This includes events and opportunities such as the National Veterans Golden Age Games. The Golden Age Games provides participants with a positive impact in their physical activity and social engagement that can benefit athletes' psychological well-being overall. During the needs assessment, the primary stakeholders stated that the aim is to provide the best experience for the participants or athletes. One of the aspects the primary stakeholders expressed limitations with were staff, resources, and time, focusing on education within different facets of the games. Ultimately, the focus was to provide education to volunteers that assist during the games. The needs assessment highlighted a profound gap in education surrounding visual impairments that affects close to 2.2 billion people globally and is expected to increase to 80% of older adults that are 65 years of age or older. Visual impairments impact physical, cognitive, and psychological functioning. Specifically, these include decreased postural stability, depth perception, balance, and motor coordination. Visual field loss can reduce postural control and cause greater instability during competition and daily life. A study done on judo athletes tested visually impaired athletes on their ability to perform a technique as often as possible within an allotted period of time, with and without tactile and auditory stimuli. The results showed that the visually impaired athletes preferred and performed significantly better than with either stimuli. The education for these volunteers is designed to educate them on the adaptive equipment for the visually impaired to increase the knowledge, carryover, and positively impact with the overall games and provide the best experience for the veterans. The theory that is used to guide this project is occupational adaptation. The emphasis and focus of this occupation-based model is adaptive capacity, or the person's ability to recognize the need for change, modification, or refinement to achieve relative mastery. The relative mastery aspect is the self-assessment of the occupational performance of the volunteer's role. In layman's terms, this is the recognition by the volunteer for the need of education to provide effective and efficient assistance during the games. This theory additionally assisted in guiding my pre- and post-test questions. These questions addressed each individual's perception of their abilities in the role, as you can see on the next slide. Below, you can see how each aspect of the games, as well as the volunteer, affect and effect one another in the pursuit of mastery within their role as volunteer. While the theory guided my project, additional guidelines assisted in the creation of the project. Brigham and Women's pre-test and post-test guidelines assisted in helping to formulate questions. They assisted in the design of overall questions, such as how many questions to write, the utilization of clear and concise language, avoiding words such as always, all, and never in the questions that can impact the comprehension of them, the grading of the questions throughout the survey, addressing simple questions first before progressing to longer or more complex questions. The Brigham and Women's pre-test and post-test guidelines also provided an equation to calculate knowledge gain, as well as quantifying the data. The figure below displays the formula used to calculate knowledge gained between pre-test and post-testing. The Qualtrics platform was used to create, distribute, and capture all responses from the pre-test and post-test surveys. Each survey housed 15 questions. 11 questions had correct and incorrect components to them. 3 others asked about each individual's perception as it relates to their ability as a volunteer. Finally, the last question asked individuals to create a unique code that would allow pairing of pre-test and post-test surveys to distinguish knowledge gain. Due to the virtual nature of the doctoral capstone, implementation included sending one email that provided instructions as well as anonymous Qualtrics links that allow the recipients to access and respond to pre- and post-test surveys. The instructions provided a clear order of completion, placing emphasis on starting with the pre-testing first for a baseline knowledge of the material. Second, reviewing the educational material. And finally, completing the post-test survey to determine knowledge gain. These instructions also let recipients know that they could opt out at any time during the completion of any of the material. Recipients were given 1 week to complete both surveys and review the educational material. Recipients were a part of an undisclosed recipient list consisting of about 35 participants. Due to time constraints of the doctoral capstone, the surveys and educational material were sent to staff members as a pilot training. Each of the responses were stored on the Qualtrics platform. From the implementation phase, we can see the outcomes between these two graphs. The graph on the left is a side-by-side interpretation of the data of pre-test and post-testing scores for each participant. The blue bars denote each participant's pre-test scores, while the red bars denote the post-test scoring. We can see that 7 of 11 individuals showed a better score on their post-test compared to their pre-test. 2 participants showed the same score between both tests, and 2 participants showed a lower score on their post-test compared to their pre-test. The graph on the right shows knowledge gained. Here we can compare the average knowledge gained for each participant. The left side of this graph denotes percentage of knowledge gained. 7 of 11 participants had a positive knowledge gain. 2 of the 11 participants showed a 0% change in knowledge, and 2 participants showed a decrease in knowledge. The orange line signifies the average knowledge gained of all participants at 25.8%. Overall, we can see an increase in scores from pre-test and post-testing and knowledge gained. The next 3 graphs were questions asked to individuals about their own perception on their ability. These questions were captured and analyzed on a Likert scale. The Likert scale, the lowest, 1, representing a strong disagree to the questions, and a 5 representing a strongly agree to the questions. The dark blue bars represent each participant's own perception during the pretest or prior to reviewing the educational material, and the orange bars represent the post-test perceptions. The graph on the left asked, what was your current belief in your ability to perform as a volunteer? The data represents that 4 out of 11 had an increase in their belief. 1 individual had a decrease in their belief, and 6 had the same belief between both tests. The right graph, this one addresses their belief that access to educational material has increased their own knowledge on the adaptive equipment for the visually impaired. From the data, 2 out of 11 believe that it increased their knowledge. 1 had a decrease in knowledge, and 8 had the same belief about the effect of the educational material. Finally, this last graph displays the data to the question, did they believe access to educational material impacted their ability to perform as a volunteer? Once again, the dark blue bars represent each participant's own perception during the pretest or prior to reviewing the educational material. And the orange bars represent the post-test perception or after reviewing the educational material. This chart displays that 11 out of 11 felt the exact same before and after the implementation of the educational material. In conclusion, the educational material was beneficial, providing an overall increase in post-test scores compared to pre-test scoring. An increase in knowledge gain was displayed, as well as a perceived ability in each individual's role as volunteers. Additionally, there was an increase in perception that the educational material will assist in increasing their knowledge. Non-traditional settings, such as the Adaptive Sports and Entertainment Division of the National Veterans Golden Age Games, could benefit from continued education programming to impact volunteers' knowledge and self-efficiency within their role. Additionally, there is potential benefit from the impact occupational therapy can have when providing educational resources to advocate, educate, and decrease occupational deprivation to those in non-traditional settings. I'd like to acknowledge the following individuals for their guidance throughout my doctoral capstone experience. My capstone coordinator, Christine Krull, my capstone faculty mentor, Kelsey Peter, my site mentor, Brittany Hook, the clinical program manager, Allison Prusner, and the team that was on site, the Visually Impaired Division of the National Veterans Golden Age Games. Thank you. The following 3 slides include the references used in my scholarly report, poster, and voice thread. Thank you for your time and attention throughout this presentation.